Hey viewers, welcome to Healing Hands. In this video, I am going to explain about the endocrine glands and the hormones. Start the video. Before starting the endocrine system and hormones, we should know what are glands and types of glands, hormones and types of hormones. Okay, first coming to glands. First, glands. What are glands? Glands are the specialized organs. Glands are the specialized organs or group of cells. Or glands are the specialized organs or group of cells that synthesize or produce and secretes. These glands synthesize and secretes substances such as hormones, enzymes, or fluids. They will be producing the substances and secreting the substances like hormones, enzymes, and fluids. Understood? Now, types of glands. There are two types of glands. One are exocrine glands, and another type is endocrine glands. Another one is endocrine glands. We'll be discussing these types of glands next. Coming to hormones. Hormones. What are the hormones? Hormones are chemical messengers. These are the chemical substances. Hormones are the chemical substances, chemical in nature, produced by endocrine glands. Hormones are produced by endocrine glands. What are endocrine glands? Endocrine glands are ductless glands. Exocrine glands are duct glands. Endocrine glands produces hormones. Only endocrine glands produces hormones. Exocrine glands produces enzymes. See here. Hormones are chemical messengers produced by endocrine glands into bloodstream, acting on a specific target organs to produce a regulatory effect or physiological function. Physiological function. Hormones are the chemical messengers. These are chemical in nature messengers. They will be transporting the information from the glands to the specific target organ. They will be transporting the messages, information from the organ, no, from the glands to the specific organ to produce physiological function. These hormones are non-nutrients. Hormones are non-nutrients. These are non-nutrients. These are chemical in nature, non-nutrients, and act as a intercellular messengers. Intercellular messengers. There will be acting. These hormones will be acting between the cells, between the glands and the organ. Hormones are produced in trace amount. Trace, trace amount means small amount. These are non-nutrient substances, chemical in nature, act as intercellular messengers. These are produced in small amounts. Next, we will be discussing about the types of glands and the types of hormones.
Okay, now let's discuss about the classification of the hormones. The hormones are divided into two based on chemical in nature and based on how hormones acting on targeted tissues. First, we will be discussing about the types of hormones based on the chemical in nature. There are three types: peptide or protein hormones, steroid hormones, amino acid derivative hormones. These peptide or protein hormones made up of amino acids. These hormones are made up of amino acids. These protein hormones are soluble in water. These can be dissolved in the water. Examples of these peptide hormones are insulin, which is released by the pancreas, glucose, also released by the pancreas, and GH, growth hormone, which is released by pituitary gland. Next, steroid hormones. These steroid hormones are made up of cholesterol, derived from the cholesterol or lipids. These are soluble in water. This is soluble in lipids, which can be dissolved in the lipids. Examples of these steroid hormones are estrogen, cortisol, testosterone, and progesterone. Next, amino acid derivatives. These amino acid derivatives hormones are made up of, derived from the amino acids like tyrosine and tryptophan. These amino acid derivatives are derived from the are made up of trypsin and tryptophan amino acids. These are water soluble or liquid soluble. These can be dissolved in water or liquids. Examples of these are thyroxine. Thyroxine is T4. Tetraiodothyroxine. Adrenaline and non-adrenaline hormones. Amino acid derivatives are thyroxine, adrenaline, and non-adrenaline hormones. Next, based on how hormones acting on targeted tissue. These are of three types: tropic hormones, non-tropic hormones, and releasing and inhibiting hormones. Now let's see. First, what are tropic hormones? Hormones act on other endocrine glands and stimulate them to release the hormones. Stimulate them to secrete the hormones. These are hormones. The function of these hormones is to act on the another endocrine gland and make them to stimulate or secrete the hormone. First is TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, follicular stimulating hormone, adenocortical. First, what is TSH? TSH is thyroid stimulating hormone which is released by the pituitary gland. These hormone TSH will be acting on the thyroid, so thyroid will be releasing the T3 and T4 hormones. This is FSH, follicular stimulating hormone. Next, non-tropic hormones. Non-tropic hormones that act directly on the tissue. These examples of these are insulin and growth hormone. These hormones will be directly acting on the tissues or targeted organs. These are non-tropic. These are acting on the another endocrine gland. So those are tropic, non-tropic, and third one is releasing and inhibiting hormones. What are releasing and non-releasing and inhibiting hormones? First, we will be seeing about releasing hormones. If releasing hormones are like TRH, thyroxine regulating hormone, gonadotropin regulating hormone, and somatostatin. This is a regulating hormone, means releasing hormones. Releasing hormone, and somatostatin is an inhibiting hormone. This somatostatin inhibits the release of the growth hormone. This somatostatin is a hormone which inhibits or stops the releasing of the growth hormone, inhibiting the growth hormone. Next, TRH, thyroid regulating hormone. This thyroid regulating hormone helps in the releasing of the T3 and T4. G and gonadotropin regulating hormone. Understood? Next, we will be discussing about the types of glands.
Okay, now let's discuss about the types of glands. There are two types of glands: exocrine glands and endocrine glands. Now let's see about the exocrine glands. Exocrine glands secretes their substances through ducts into our body. These exocrine glands will be secreting the substances through the ducts. These glands will be having the ducts. From this, the secretions will be secreted. The substances will be secreted. Secretes enzymes. The substances which are produced or secreted by the exocrine glands are enzymes. Understood? Next, these are duct glands. These will be having the ducts. From these, the substances will be secreted into the body. Examples of exocrine glands are sweat glands, lacrimal glands, mammary glands, salivary glands, and sebaceous glands. Next, moving to endocrine glands, which is important. Endocrine glands. Endocrine glands secretes their substances directly into the bloodstream. These endocrine glands secretes the substances directly into the bloodstream. Secretes the hormones. These exocrine glands secretes only enzymes, but endocrine glands secretes only hormones. Next, these are ductless glands. These exocrine glands having the ducts. So these substances will be secreted through the ducts. But exocrine glands don't have the ducts. So these exocrine glands secretes their hormones or the substances directly into the bloodstream. So endocrine glands are ductless glands. There will be no ducts for the endocrine. Types of endocrine glands are thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, thymus gland, pituitary, hypothalamus, and ovaries. These glands will be not having the ducts. Thyroid gland. Thyroid glands are two thyroid glands. This thyroid gland is present in front and sides of the neck. Parathyroid gland. Parathyroid glands are two in pair, present on back side of the thyroid gland. Thymus gland. It helps in the immune power. And pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is also called master gland. It is two in number, having Anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary gland, and adrenaline gland, which is present on the kidneys. These are two in number, and hypothalamus one in number. This pituitary gland is called master gland, but hormones which are released by the hypothalamus will be stored in the anterior pituitary and released by the pituitary gland. Next, pineal gland, testes, ovaries. These are the reproductive glands. Understood? Hope you have understood the video. Hormones and glands types and their examples. If you want notes of this class, comment me down. And if you want more in detail about these endocrine glands, comment down and we'll be making separate videos for each gland.